What is up, Pewter Peeps? Welcome in to a special division clinching post game here on the PewterCast, presented by BetUS.com, part of the Fan-Sided Network, and your number one spot for all things Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am Steve Carney. That's Ren Dax. Ren, first off, I have not seen you since Christmas.
Yes.
So I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Obviously, the Buccaneers gave everybody what they wanted for Christmas, and that is a division title.
Well, thank you, and Merry Christmas to you. And yes, a week late, dollar short maybe. But yeah, ho hum. Panthers stink. They're terrible. And yeah, the Bucs did what they had to do. They went on the road and did their thing. But hey, defense looked good the past 2 weeks.
Yes, they certainly have looked fantastic here over the final 8 quarters of this season that we have seen so far. And for me, I think that you can pin this on one person, especially early, and that was Jordan Whitehead, who was just everywhere in that first half, and even had a very good second half. But really, he may have had the best half of a game that anybody on the defense has had this year, and that's saying something because we've had some pretty good halves of defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think Todd Bowles has the way he uses Jordan Whitehead compared to when Jordan Whitehead first got here. He's turned Jordan Whitehead into like a extreme liability on the defensive side of the ball. When Jordan Whitehead was playing single high safety, he was a liability to say the least. Now, dropping him down in the box or, and I said this, I was saying this last year, and he looked great beginning of this year. Then he kind of got hurt and disappeared, and, we were still winning most games, so it really didn't, kind of pop up. But then when we started talking about how teams that had mobile quarterbacks were picking up, third down as longs and when they're running power ISOs and things like that, it would seem to be a struggle for the Buccaneers defense. And then you insert Whitehead, which, he's been the best edge setter for the Bucs for the past 2 years, period, end of story. And yeah, and now he seems to, I don't know if it's, the Carolina quarterbacks delivering the ball late or it was just, a very favorable game plan because of the routes that they run, because Cam also doesn't, throw the ball deep as much as other quarterbacks, or maybe can't. But Jordan Whitehead was all over his guy, in coverage, which was something that, we haven't seen since he's been here. But as far as a run defender, this game kind of played into his hands, and, no missed tackles, and he was, squirting around, pulling linemen and tight ends and wide receivers. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, and it's probably true, I'd have to go back and look at every single one, but this was, definitely one of his best games, if not his best game as a Buccaneer.
Yeah, I agree with you completely on that. I really liked the way that the front four worked together to try and make sure that whether it was, Cam Newton or Sam Darnold under center there, that nobody felt comfortable. I mean, you saw, Shaq Barrett and I know Brian Shaw in our Twitter and our YouTube comments, talked about, I hope Shaq is okay, because Shaq, early on in that game was doing things, moving inside to make sure that Vita Vea got an opportunity at a fresh look, and then was able to get around and get the sack himself. So I really liked the way that the front four operated. Anthony Nelson had a big day. Will Golston had a huge day out on the front four as well. But really, I mean, you look for a team that didn't have Levante David, and we all know how good off the ball Levante is. And, I thought Kevin Minter had a really, really good game as well, taking over that spot that you had Levante in normally. And then, of course, what the defensive secondary was able to do, not having, Antoine Winfield, but you do get Mike Edwards back. I thought that was going to be big, because if you were only going out there with just Whitehead and, whatever you were going to put in the secondary, I was pretty impressed, up and down. When you only you've given up 15 points in the last 8 quarters as a defense.
And you're 1-1.
Yeah, and you're 1-1 because of it. And it's something that we didn't talk about last week in the recap, was that Tom Brady didn't have a play in the red zone last week, which I was kind of surprised to go back and they mentioned it on the television broadcast. I was like, you're right, they didn't. I was like, that could be a problem. If you don't have a play in the red zone, it's really hard to score a touchdown and win a game that way. But
yeah, again, it obviously didn't face nowhere near top 10 quarterbacks or tier 1 quarterbacks in the league the past 2 weeks, but that's what you're supposed to do when you face these guys, and not all teams have done it. Sean Murphy-Bunting, I thought maybe had his best game all year. They sort of in the second quarter, the Panthers tried to go after him, and he came up play after play after play, and they went after him kind of like back-to-back plays, some pass defense there. It was, and then Brady started off slow, like first drive, sort of short hop 2 of them, and I'm like, oh god, here we go. This is not gonna happen again. And then he just kind of decided to, he did, but the offense decided to, which is something some people talk about, just run the ball, just run the ball a lot, and put the game on the back of Ronald Jones early, and he answered, there was not a lot of 2nd and 8s and 2nd and 9s. Most of them were 2nd and 5 and 2nd and 6.
Yeah.
And then, him and Antonio Brown started to hook up. And then you got to think about this. He barely even threw the ball to Rob Gronkowski today, who was, probably most fans, including myself, thought he was going to be a big portion of the offense today with Evans and Godwin out. They scored 30, over 30 points on the road, and they did exactly what they had to do. You can pick on some things, but at the end of the day, you're just like, it wasn't close, and it wasn't close since, kind of halfway through the second quarter, especially when you started to see the way, the Panthers were, Cam Newton being Cam Newton, you can't, he's not good.
Yeah, he is one of the most beat-up quarterbacks for being, Cam's, 32 now? He's only 32 years old, but he is just,
I don't know, but he's back.
He's the bad cam didn't seem like it ever left, but he's maybe the most beat up 32-year-old quarterback that you've ever seen. And you're right, Gronkowski only 2 targets today. He had that one target that got him down into inside the 10, and then had the ball go through his hands for a possible touchdown. So he dropped the touchdown pass. But only one catch for Gronk, and Antonio Brown 15 targets, without Godwin, without Mike Evans. You had a feeling that there was going to be a step up in the amount of balls coming Antonio Brown's way, and he ends up 10 catches, 101 yards on the afternoon. How about the fact that, and we'll get to some of your thoughts as well here in just a moment. If you're watching us on YouTube, the comment from Ren, the link to join us live here is there, and you can just click on that, and we will get you in here. Also, if you are listening to us on the podcast afterwards, come and join us on YouTube. It's a great time. It's some great conversation that we have. How about Sneak Vaughn?
Yes, finally.
He gets out of
something happened good for this kid. Jesus.
Yeah, the 55-yard touchdown run down the sidelines, and they ran that play a number of times. That power tackle type of run where where it was kind of almost like a delay the other way, and they have Vaughn go to the left side and is able to break it for a touchdown. We saw Ronald Jones go to the right side a couple of times and show some success with it. And then off of that play, they were able to use the toss misdirection and let Cyril Grayson get the ball once on the pitch, and he ended up running for a first down on that in the third quarter. I loved seeing that play, and as Frank mentions in the comments, a lot of 12 and a lot of 13 personnel out of necessity. I mean, when you don't want to have to use Scotty Miller and Cyril Grayson a lot in that case. So you end up going 2 tight ends, you end up going 3 tight ends, and limiting the amount of receivers on the field in that case. But I thought it was really, really a good adjustment made to go 12 and go 13 and be able to show success in that range.
Yeah, you know, we knew, at least if you're paying attention, you knew that the offense was going to look different.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to rely more on, you know, the running game, and in doing that, that means you're going to have to rely on more on Brayton Howard, because they were going to run some different things off of that, not just even when they come out in 12 and 13 personnel. You know, they were going to play action off that and throw it to their tight ends besides just Gronk. I think Braid had more targets than anybody out of the 3 today. And it just seemed like everything was working. And then, you know, in the first half, you got a few splash plays with the Vaughn run, and then there was a deep shot to Cyril Grayson. And, you know, that just kind of got the ball off and running. And yeah, again, you know, I credit the coaching staff on this one. You know, I banged on them last week because they got out coached again, you know, by the Saints coaching staff. But they had a sound game plan. They stuck with it. It didn't, you know, hurt that the running game was working early, so they could. You know, kind of got Brady settled down after that first drive, and then it was surgical after that. You know, like every couple of drives, you score a couple more points, and then, you know, every couple of drives they don't, and it was really over by halftime, even though it was only 19 points.
Yeah, I agree. It was pretty much over, and now we've got 2 games left to go. Still an opportunity to pull out the number 1 seed, though it will be very difficult.
No,
mathematically, it's still alive.
No.
You do need Green Bay to lose to both Minnesota and Detroit.
Yeah. They have 3 losses all year, so we need them to end the season on 2 straight losses.
Yeah, and 2-game losing streak.
So, no.
Yes.
No.
Well, but I know that yes was I'm agreeing with you.
No.
So you're not agreeing with me.
I'm not agreeing with no. Don't even mention that. It's beyond a pipe dream.
It would take a miracle.
It would take more than a miracle. Like, if Green Bay loses these last 2 games, someone needs to be canonized. And I'm you know what? I'm
You're willing to put yourself in that position?
No, I'm going to offer your name up. That's it. You're the first one to do it. Saint Carney.
Saint Carney.
The patron saint of choking from Green Bay.
The patron saint of small hands.
Talk about choking. Like, I mean, can we talk about Kyler Murray in the past 2 seasons where it's like Collapse Murray or Kyler Collapse? Like, we got to come up with a name for this guy, because Jesus, man.
How about the Chargers today getting blown out by the Texans?
Oh, did the Texans win?
Yeah.
Oh man, I almost put money on that game. I almost took the money line with the Texans.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the Texans pulled out that win, which that was quite an impressive thing to have happen. Yes, the Chargers didn't have Austin Eckler or Mike Williams in that game, but still.
So what?
Yeah, they won. I think it was 41-24 or something like that. Yeah, they put up a 40 burger on the Chargers, which, yeah. So we
got a couple guys waiting, so let me know when you want to bring them in.
Well, we'll bring them in here in just a second. I just want to mention that, of course, the PewterCast is brought to you by BetUS.com. We're talking betting here and some of the things that we were thinking of doing, and maybe thinking of possibly putting some scratch on here. And of course, we always do it at BetUS.com. They are the official sponsor of the PewterCast, and for 27 years, BetUS.com has been paying off their winners. So if you took the Texans on the money line, you would have gotten paid from BetUS.com, and you could have gotten it with a little bit of extra scratch thanks to us here at the PewterCast. If you go to BetUS.com and you sign up using the promo code PewterC125. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm holding up my phone with the actual promo code there. Again, it's Pewter, Pewter, with the letter C and the number 125. It gets you a 125% sign-up bonus. So you go to BetUS.com, you use the promo code PewterC125, and deposit $100. You get $125 in sign-up bonus. So you get $225 to play with. The NFL season's still going strong, and of course, BetUS will have lines all the way through the Super Bowl. Also, college football bowl season, it's kind of weird with all the COVID going on, but there are still bowl games going on, and they've got lines for those. The NBA and NHL regular seasons in full swing as well. And of course, UFC fights, the PGA when it comes back, and Ren's favorite, the ponies.
The ponies.
You can bet on at BetUS.com. And again, use the promo code PewterC125 in order to get a 125% sign-up bonus. It's the best way to support the PewterCast because you bet, you win, and you get paid with BetUS. All right, who we got?
Well, we got Corey. He's in here twice, but I'm not sure which one I should click on because I can't see him on either. So we shall try this. Oh, there he is. Okay, there we go. Corey from Nashville, Mr. All-Star basketball player.
Yep.
The best 5-on-5 non-competitive old man league 3-man in the game. The best history teacher for public schools can buy.
Yep.
And the second biggest Titans fan in the state of Tennessee.
Oh man, he's probably a Titans fan.
And
second biggest Titans fan. I mean, I know you're a Bucs fan.
I'm a Nashville fan, and it's cool when the Titans, whatever they do, is inconsequential to me. Now, if you think any part of Titans blood is in me, you should have seen when we came here and played them, and I was ready to get kicked out the stadium for that weak ass call when we made the punter fumble and Devin White made him fumble. We ran it back and they called that back. I was getting ready to get kicked out the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Keyshawn Von Truther, Corey.
Yeah, he's from Pearl Cone. He's from here in Nashville.
Yeah.
Pearl Cone High School. Hey man, that was a fun game to watch.
Yep.
From a preparation standpoint, just to seeing how we were going to attack what, quite frankly, was a pretty solid defense. I mean, they weren't, by all means, they weren't 85 Bears or 02 Bucs, but they statistically were one of the better defenses in the league. And I just thought systematically we attacked them, their weaknesses, which was the inside zone running and the power running. Then we tried to stretch them out a little bit, which they got athletic D-line, so the stretch plays weren't going to work as much. I like what I'm seeing from Cyril every time Cyrus. Well, I don't know his name. Grayson. Every time I see him play, man, he just seems like one of those receivers that's quick and shifty that Tom Brady likes to throw little out routes to. And man, I don't know how he got caught on that. That should have been a touchdown. He's a sprinter and he got caught, so he's gonna have to answer for that in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
But Jordan Whitehead, my God,
right?
And I tweeted out towards the middle of the third quarter of how, to me, in my opinion, we drafted a lot of average defensive players. Maybe outside of Vita, and obviously Devin White is a top 5 pick. But I just thought this coaching staff, the way they coach these guys up, and use them and make them so interchangeable. Like all of our safeties are so interchangeable. They're really good tacklers. All of them are really good tacklers. And they're really good blitzers. Like it lends itself for a lot of versatility. And that was on display today. Todd Bowles' defensive calling was great. Our corners, our secondary looks healthy. As healthy as it's been really all year because SMB went down the second drive of the Cowboys game. He
Yeah.
went out the game. So and you can see the difference in the confidence of the defensive play calls. We blitz a lot more. We run a lot more stunts, which actually take time. When you got to run those twist stunts, they take time for those to get the pressure that you are trying to get on those plays. So you have to be able to hold up on the back end. We've been calling a lot more of those of late. And man, William Golson with a 2.5 sack day from a defensive tackle position. But that's what I'm saying. The
That's a
versatility
full year worth of sacks for him.
Yeah.
Right. No, exactly. And he's one of those, like I said, one of those average players that we drafted. But with this coaching staff, since this coaching staff has come in 3 years ago, William Golson has been a very underrated piece of our defensive line. Extremely underrated too. When we number one in rush defense, I see him getting a lot of TFLs, a lot for a player of his attributes, I guess you would say. So I want to commend this defensive coaching staff because honestly, they've been coaching all year. For our defense not to be ranked in the bottom half of the NFL in any statistical yards with any statistical categories with our injuries shows you how they have been coaching these guys up. And I'm so excited for this playoff run. But one thing we got to mention, guys, NFC South Division champs for the first time in almost 15 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking awesome. It's pretty fucking awesome. Now it's not the goal, obviously, because we're defending Super Bowl champions. But let's analyze a couple of things because our team has been getting beat up. We win games, and then when we lose a game, they're not as good as we thought. Whatever.
Right.
I love and I hate the national media because now we're flying under the radar. Now we're flying under the radar, which is what I would like. So if we close out with this 4th seed, Arizona got to come to us, or San Francisco, whoever decides, because it looks like neither one of them really want to go to the playoffs, quite frankly. No. It looks like they want to let Atlanta get in and New Orleans get in, I guess. I don't know. But we're actually better from before the playoffs than we were last year. And that's saying a lot because how many defending Super Bowl champions get better the next year?
You think we're better now than we were last year?
Yeah, I disagree.
At this time, yeah. When you take into consideration the teams that we didn't beat any good teams last year until the playoffs started.
We didn't beat any good teams this year.
Until we went to New Orleans. Until we went to New Orleans for that divisional round, we hadn't really proved ourselves at all.
We haven't beat any good teams this year.
The Colts and the Bills are the Colts definitely are probably the hottest team outside of the Chiefs. And we went to them and beat them.
The Colts threw the game, and we almost lost. We should have lost to the Bills. They had like first down and inside the 20 with under 2 minutes.
And don't forget that they almost lost to Dallas.
And those are games that we would have lost last year.
I think that the defensive play calling and the offensive play calling were in a better spot last year. At this point, they are this year, and it just has to do with being healthy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It has to do with the fact that at this point last year, everybody was healthy, with the exception of Vita Vea. You had a healthy Godwin, you had a healthy Mike Evans, and even after he got hurt in the last game of the season, you still had a lot healthier offensive weapons, and your best offensive weapons were healthy.
So we have had to lean on both offensively and defensively our depth, which in my opinion makes us a better team. Defensively, we have played. Andrew Adams shows you why. Andrew Adams, when he gets his snaps, he shows you what an NFL player looks like, but he also shows you what a third string safety looks like. Third string safeties drop that interception Taysom Hill threw.
Yeah.
Okay. But NFL safeties makes that tackle that he made against the Cowboys, makes that sack that he made against when he came out and was just all over the place against Buffalo in that first half. That's what I'm saying. I think we've had opportunities to lean more on our depth and make a deeper team. In my opinion, I mean,
so you think top to bottom we're a better team now than we were last year. But are you willing? Right. Okay, and I'll take that in consideration and probably agree with it. But do you think the top 25 players on the team, including everyone that's injured, and is going to make it back this year, are playing better than they were last year?
Yeah, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski.
No.
Antonio Brown, Ram Gronkowski,
No.
Donovan Smith.
Yes.
Donovan Smith is playing better. Gronkowski's playing. We were calling him a blocker this time last year.
No, we weren't. We were calling him blocker like game 4.
We were calling. Okay, remember when the playoff run started and he had the touch and he scored? He said,
I believe the playoff run started the first game of the playoffs.
He said, "Oh, I thought I was a blocker."
He said that like week 4.
That has never. But okay, let's say week 4. Guess what? 4 weeks into the season, that has never been the narrative this season. Antonio Brown, he had incentives. He done made his incentives this year, and I know he came late, but he didn't really have an impact on our team last year. I give you Mike Evans. But anyway,
And Godwin. Godwin was playing better this year.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
He's better this year.
Yeah,
he's better this year. Jensen's better. Worse the push. I think Alley's playing better. Fournette's better. Jones is better.
Sound like you're starting to agree with me. Doesn't it sound like he's starting to agree with me now? Or just, but I just want to say, big ups to the coaching staff this week. That goes a long way. We should have beat Carolina the way we beat them today, but also I thought we were a little vanilla because we play them again in 2 weeks. So I just think, hopefully, quite frankly, if we beat the Jets, man, the way the season has been going so weird, we beat the Jets. Unless there's some type of seeding involved, I really don't see a point in playing starters in the last week. Unless seeding is involved. Just weird-ass season the way it's been going. And Tom Brady thinks he's Michael Vick all of a sudden. He wants to keep taking off. That shit, I hold my breath because it takes him 20 hours to get the 11 yards. And he just knows somebody's about to come hit him.
This may be the best line of the day by Greg Olson. He's got to unhitch the trailer first.
Right, exactly. So
maybe we just like pull a Popovich and just everyone's on COVID. Like we beat the Jets and like you can't get a better. Just sit everybody. Just like we forfeit. We're not even. We're not.
Does, man. It was a nationally televised game and they were pissed that he did that.
Oh yeah.
NBA was pissed when he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna hold Tim Duncan out this game, even though everybody's gonna be watching."
Yeah.
But I mean, I love you guys.
Think about it though, Corey. And Ren makes an interesting point. If you have no reason to play anybody in week 17 or week 18, excuse me.
Week 18.
It would be hilarious to say
just forfeit.
This is our bye week.
Yeah, just forfeit. We're not even showing up.
I love that. I actually love that, and I hope somebody of importance is listening. If we beat New York, which we should, but we beat anything happens to NFL. We beat New York, and seeding is not involved. I don't see a point in playing starters in Week 18. No, sir.
I agree.
I'll be the biggest Blaine Gabbert fan, and I'll be the biggest Blaine Gabbert fan Week 18. Like
you're gonna see, you would see Blaine Gabbert, Le'Veon Bell. You would see Scott Miller.
Ross Cockrell, C. Delaney, all them guys. D. Delaney.
C- Delaney.
C- Delaney. Hey, man, happy holidays, guys.
Yes.
We won't do this again until next year.
Yeah.
Yep. We won't be doing this again until next year. So, hey, happy New Year, guys.
Yes, happy New Year, Corey.
All right, see you next year.
All right, thanks, Corey.
I like the idea. I like the idea of not having any.
It'd be like that quarterback slide thing. It'd be like this is only going to happen once. Like you could only do it once before the NFL comes out with a rule that like you can't do that ever again. You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is you've got to have 47. You've got to have 47 players active, and you only have 53.
I just put them all on the COVID list.
Just put them all.
Steve, where'd you go? Oh. We had Steve. Steve waited, and he waited, and he waited. And, I don't know, maybe he pushed a button on accident. Maybe he'll be back. Well, we had Steve waiting. Maybe he'll be back in a second.
But I would think you'd have to pick...
The video lines are clear.
Yes, the lines are open for you right now with the link in the comments that just got dropped again if you want to have an opportunity to come and join Ren and I here on the PewterCast. But you would have to make your you would have to choose who doesn't play, because I don't think you can put you're not going to put 18 people on COVID and sign 18 people off the street. But I think that you could put 5 or 6 guys on the COVID list and say, okay, we're going to go that route.
Just don't show up. Like, just don't show up.
Yeah, inactive today, or Robert Hainsey's gonna.
Oh wow, the whole team overslept, and and all the equipment guys, and all the broadcasters,
We didn't
and
bring anybody.
all the Buccaneers.com people, because it's at home, right? It's at home. It's a home game.
Yeah, it's a home game.
Yeah. So
Nobody showed up.
No, I don't know what happened.
Oh, look, the field's not ready from after the Outback Bowl.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So sorry.
The field got ruined by the Outback Bowl. Sorry about that. Our bad. That would be so funny. I could see that. And the NFL is just looking like, you sons of bitches.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it would only be like a one-time thing.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like, yeah, like if anyone ever tries this crap again, we're taking your franchise away.
You're losing all your draft picks next year.
Losing all your draft picks, like, yeah, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, because that's an intentional tanking. You can't throw baseball game, or you can't throw football games, can't throw baseball games. So,
we got Zach on the line.
Zach, hey, are you ordering your hat and your T-shirt for the division title?
You talking to me?
No. Yeah.
Oh God, no. No, I don't wear swag.
It's funny. I don't either.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. You know, I love my team and I'll talk about them all the time, but I like my personal worth or identity has nothing to do with a sports franchise whatsoever.
Well,
like, I don't want to.
I always go with the Jay-Z line. I don't wear jerseys. I'm 30 plus. So
yeah, well, I mean, but that's like hats, and then it also has to do with like Super Bowl shirts and rings and all that kind of stuff. I can't believe people like you said over 30 are actually ordering Super Bowl replica rings and putting them on their hands, and then putting it on social media. I don't get what are you doing? Like what do you wear that to the grocery store? Like what is that?
It's a waste of money is what it is.
Well, I mean, if you can afford it, you can afford it. No big deal. But what are you going to do with it? It's just like you didn't earn that in any way whatsoever. Like you did nothing. It's like, look what I got, a Super Bowl ring. No, you don't. Anyway, whatever.
You got nothing.
Teach their own. I mean, I don't have to understand it, so it ain't no big deal.
It's ridiculous. All right, let's get Zach in here.
All right. Hey, Zach.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going well. How are you?
I'm wearing my swag, my 45 swag.
Hey, that's cool, man. I have no problems with other people wearing it. I just don't get it.
Every Sunday, whatever the team is wearing, I have my white jersey, I have my pewter jersey, whatever color we're wearing. That's what's on Sundays.
Nice.
Superstitious, you can call it what it is.
I don't mind wearing a jersey on game days or swag on game days. I don't.
Whatever I do.
What I don't understand is when you go to Publix and you're wearing your jersey and you're wearing your hat and you got your ring on and you got your Buccaneer pants on and you got your Buccaneer shoes on. I don't get it. But again, it doesn't matter. Like, do whatever you want to do. What's on your mind, buddy?
I'm also only 27, so it doesn't make
sense. Oh, there you go. You're in the window. Yeah. You can be. You've got 3 years of being the biggest douche you want to be before you have to be an adult.
Yeah, you know what?
He's got the sunglasses to prove it.
Too. Yeah.
Well, the sunglasses are to block my eyes from the sun that's glaring into me, but.
Okay. That's what sunglasses are for? Gotcha. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, Zach.
These are actually Buccaneers embroidered glasses.
There you go.
I'm just kidding.
All right, let's drop all that. What's on your mind, man?
I've got some thoughts on the game. Last time I called in was actually after the Thursday night Bears game.
Oh, yeah.
Last year. Yeah. I called in asking for Donovan Smith's head. But at the end of the day, I said that I thought that we had played well, and that was earlier in the year. I still think we're playing well to this point in the season. Mm-hmm. My general thought, and this is particular to the offense, the coaching staff is really looking to try to get Tom an MVP. And anytime we get in the red zone, it really feels like we're trying to force something to get Tom a touchdown pass. And
okay.
It hasn't always been that way, but it's felt that way for the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, he's got 37 of them. He's got more than anybody else.
And I understand why we go to that, but we actually ran the football today. And even with Keyshawn Vaughn and Rojo's obviously a good runner, but I mean we have a solid offensive line. 3 Pro Bowlers now. I mean, guys. I mean, they're not just Pro Bowlers because they're great. They're great. And Tom helps with that aspect of the numbers, getting the ball out quick, and that is what it is. But we have a solid offensive line. Rojo from the get-go was getting 5+ yards a carry.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, if we can do that in a football game and can get a lead, Byron actually starts to get a feel. When he gets behind, he gets me nervous because he starts to reach and try to,
starts to press.
Right.
It doesn't feel like there's a flow. It looks like he's looking to try to. Yeah, I understand that. It feels like he's trying to win the game on a single play of every single drive when they're behind.
Yeah.
Right. He's looking for the explosiveness, and I get it because from his perspective, he sees the athletes and the weapons that he has, and he thinks he can get away with it. So I understand that, but he kind of loses his actual when he coaches a game like today when we're much lesser than we typically would be. He seems so much more impressive because he's actually thinking about what he needs to be doing. And when we have Mike and Chris and even Perriman at this point out there healthy, he just always wants to open it up too early. And that's just my general thought, mainly in the last few weeks. I listened to Corey. I'm not sure if there was anyone before him earlier. I had a few thoughts on what he said. He said we were better than last year. I disagree with that at this point in the season. I think that we're playing well. The offense has been significantly better early, but has hit in a slow pattern in the year. Defensively, slow start. Last 2 weeks have been great. I mean, dominant performances, even in the Saints game.
Right.
But, those are against 2 mediocre quarterbacks that can't push the ball down the field, can't spread you out. These are guys that are going to run. They don't have the athletes on the outside that the really good football teams have. So I haven't seen us play good defense against a good football team or good offensive football team other than the first half of the Bills game. That was about the only time I've seen it all year.
Yeah, and it was nice to see the offense get back on track because Nofu, talked about last week, and he was right. Like it was 6 quarters in a row that the Bucs had only scored like 3 points. Because the second half of the Buffalo game, we only put up a field goal, and then the whole entire Saints game we got shut out. So
other than overtime, right?
Yeah, that doesn't count. And let's really face it, it was a 7-yard cross that the cornerback was out of position when Perriman turned the corner. There was nobody there.
Right.
It wasn't, it was like one of those it wasn't necessarily a busted coverage. It might have been, a great route concept where in a man-to-man. And the outside receiver broke in and drew the cornerback with him. And then the deep safety saw that there's nobody else on that side, so he collapsed down on the guy, either doing a slant or a dig, and that opened it up for Perriman. That could be very well true. But let's face it was a 7-yard cross, so it was just supposed to get another 2 yards to make the first down. And the C's parted open and he ran it in. So,
there's a play like that all the time that are bang bang.
True, I agree. But you take that one play out, then we're talking 7 quarters in a row.
Right.
With only 3 points.
Right.
And even if you add it in, now we're talking 7 quarters and only 10 points, which still ain't good.
Right.
So it was nice to see the offense get back on track. I thought I thought it was a well called game. I thought that they had an idea. You could see the idea what they were going to do early, and it worked, and they stuck with it. It was nice to see that, sort of like the coaching come together, and their idea of offense and defense with how they're going to attack another team worked right away, and you didn't have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
All that work they put in the week where it was like, this is how we're going to attack the Panthers defensively, and it's working, and they have no answer for it, and we're going to keep doing it.
And that's a good defense. I mean, let's face it. Antonio Brown makes a difference with or without Chris or Mike.
Yeah.
And even, Cyril Grayson really impressed me today. I mean, that was Tom, you could see Tom kind of develop that relationship and want to have him involved. And I thought that was kind of cool, especially early in the second half. He made a couple big plays.
But you can tell that Cyril Grayson is still a 1 to 2 target a game guy, right?
No, he's absolutely going to continue to be that. I mean, let's face it, when Mike comes back, he might not get any snaps, but
yeah, I mean, you think about it, Grayson's in there because, no Godwin, no Evans, no Perriman. So you end up having to need a third guy and a guy that you can put either in the slot or out wide,
right.
As opposed to Tyler Johnson, who you're not going to normally put in the slot, and
right.
Scotty Miller you're not normally going to put in the slot, but you need that guy that can be the slot or out wide guy, kind of like
if you look back at that long Keyshawn Vaughn run, it was Cyril Grayson that made the block that really broke that, and that was to me that was what made Tom want to get him involved in this game, because he showed that Chris Godwin open field.
Well, and BA has said that the reason why Godwin got all of those targets, he was the one that got the tunnel screens. He's the guy that they used in the bubble plays, and it's because Godwin was the guy that did all the dirty work, all the blocking and stuff like that. So, it's when you make that precedent, other guys see that and go, well, I'm going to want the ball. I mean, these guys are all professionals. They all have egos. They all want to be fed. And they're all going to want they all realize that's the way to do it. We've seen Godwin do it. If I do it, maybe I'm going to get the same way, and that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, it was really cool to see, in my opinion. And obviously, the biggest thing that stuck out today, from the defense, Jordan Whitehead is an absolute stud. And this guy, this was his break.
Developed into one.
Break into the NFL game. I'm a safety that's going to come up and make tackles behind the line of scrimmage, make picks, blitz, drop into coverage. I mean, he was making plays today left and right, and the broadcast made it clear. But I mean, this guy has really developed into a special talent.
Yeah, it was really nice, and it was also apparently this is the first time either of these guys had ever watched the Bucs play with Jordan Whitehead on the field. And I mean, like called the game.
Right.
So when someone has a game like that, you're just kind of like, well, how come I don't know about this guy? Oh my God, all pro, blah 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 blah.
We've all known about Jordan.
Right. So what Jordan Whitehead does best is exactly what he did today, which is come up and set the edge. Don't let guys get outside. Also, if you're trying to run it outside and you put your foot in the ground and cut back, he's going to be there too. What set this sort of game apart was he made some plays in coverage,
right,
which he absolutely rarely ever does, especially playing center field. But this was more of like playing shallow under, almost at a nickel back sort of position about the guys he was covering. Yeah. So that was really, really good to see. And then I'm not really sure how much this plays into it, but he's got really fresh legs and no one else does. So, and again, it's like, well, they're professional athletes, blah, 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 blah. But look, man, when you have like 4 weeks off and everyone else has like 3 days off, like it really makes a difference. Like all his little bumps and bruises are gone. Like you're feeling good. And your body reacts quicker. When your brain goes, hey, like go like a heat-seeking missile right here, you do it at a quicker rate than you would like, hey, let's heat-seeking missile back here. And like, ow, well, my ankle's sore and it doesn't push off as fast as it used to. And now my other foot, my toe hurts and I can't get as much push off. And then I got a tweak in my hammy. Like there's all this stuff that you're trying as hard as you can to fill that hole as fast as you can, but you just can't get there as quick because you have all these little like bumps and bruises and nags and aches and pains. And Jordan Whitehead is like he just came out of the womb right now. I mean, he's just like a little fresh baby right off the end of the assembly line. Like no miles driven, synthetic oil, super 99 plus octane gas, and here he goes. And I'm not going to say that's what had to do with it today. I'm just saying that
What are
I'd
you
be
saying?
interesting
What
to
are you
watch
saying,
him going
Brent?
forward.
What are you saying?
I'm saying it's interesting to watch him going forward. I said,
Now that you say that, it makes me feel like AB had the same type of
yes, yes,
movement today.
Yes.
I mean, he was out, healthy. He was supposed to come back right before the suspension. Got an additional 3 weeks to get healthy.
He hasn't taken a hit in almost 10 weeks.
And he looked a step in front of everybody all day.
Yep. Yeah. But then you take Will Golson, who hasn't missed a play in like 4 years, and he had his best game of his career. So, there's not one factor that you can point to and say this and that. But
just for like the love of the NFL, it's kind of cool that we haven't won a division championship in so long, and Will Golson has his biggest day of his career on the day that we win a division. I mean, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I will always be heartbroken that Paul Gruber broke his leg on the day that the Bucs won the NFC South for like the first time in like, God, it was like, I think it was like 200 years, I believe it was. And he never got to play a playoff game, and then he never came back after that broken leg, and he retired. Like, that always breaks my heart. But I mean, I'm kind of, I'm a little dead inside, so I'm not like boo-hoo-hoo. I'm just like, oh, that kind of sucks for him. I'm not totally broken up about it. But I just thought it was kind of crappy that, Gruber played like 11, 10, 12 years here, and in his last game ever as a Buccaneer, we clinched the division, didn't get to finish the game, and he never had to play a playoff game. The end.
That's tough.
That was tough.
Way to turn a good story.
I was going to say,
thank you. You're welcome, everybody. Merry Christmas, everyone.
All right. I guess the last thing I really have, unless y'all have anything else, but Blaine Gabbert's definitely starting Week 18.
Better be.
I mean, I think,
and he's gonna have the best game of his career. He has no bumps or bruises at all.
Right. Yeah.
Smooth as a baby's ass.
Blaine's got a cannon. So don't be surprised if he goes out there and slings it around. But
so you're saying this is going to be one of those? Oh God, what the hell is the guy's name?
If Blaine Gabbert starts Week 18,
he's going to be Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn.
Oh yeah.
Scott Mitchell.
Scott Mitchell, dude.
Blaine
God,
Gabbert
they paid him
wins
so
the
much
game
money.
Week 18. Blaine Gabbert wins the game Week 18.
He will be the NFL FedEx Air Player of the
Week. We're calling it now.
Yeah, and Vaughn will be the ground player of the week.
That's right. And Scotty Miller will have hands of the week.
We'll see how much of the offensive line plays. So.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, all right. All right, man.
All right, Zach.
Good call, Zach. I appreciate it. Good to talk to you.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Good seeing you.
Let's finish the year strong, and
hell yeah.
We'll see what happens in the playoffs. We got a home playoff game, so let's get ready.
Right. That's been like another 40 years for that.
Exactly.
Jesus.
Yeah, we haven't had a home playoff game since 2007. So
who do you got for the Super Bowl, Carney?
Who do I have for the Super Bowl?
And don't let being a Bucs fan thing,
being a homer about it. I actually at the beginning of the year I was on my buddy's radio show,
the Saints,
and no, I actually had I had a rematch going. I don't think I've got a rematch this now.
Okay.
Although the Chiefs are playing really, really good football right now. This is when you want to be playing your best, and the Chiefs certainly look like they are playing their best now. I don't know who I have in coming out of the AFC, because you could have anybody coming out. I mean, you look at what happened. The AFC North is just it's all over the place. You don't know what you're going to get out of any of those teams. The AFC East with New England. In the drive, well, now not in the driver's seat, and Buffalo back in the driver's seat after winning today.
Mm-hmm.
You would think, okay, the Bills have a good shot, but then the Bills also lost to the Buccaneers, so
got blown out by the Colts, and got blown out by somebody else, and this is the first game of a team that's any good that the Bills beat this year. Yeah,
and they lost.
Every other game that for a team that was any good.
Yeah, and they lost at home to New England.
Yeah,
earlier in the year, with
two passes thrown.
Not just 3 passes, and they won the damn game. So I don't know who's coming out of the AFC.
Okay, we'll pick somebody.
NFC, I'm going to take Kansas City.
Okay.
I'm going to take Kansas City. They're playing their best at the time when you need to be playing your best.
Sure.
So, I'll stay with the Chiefs. And I actually went with a rematch. So I had Bucs and Chiefs. I don't think it's going to be the Bucs though. Yeah. I honestly do think that, the way that, Aaron Rodgers and company are playing right now, they're going to have the number 1 seed. They're going to get the bye. Everything's going to have to go through Lambeau again.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling it's going to be Packers and Chiefs.
Packers, Patriots, Packers take it.
There you go.
That's it. I think it's the Packers to lose, man. I
agree with you that it is Green Bay's.
It's the 3rd year in a row they've been in the NFC Championship game, and the 2nd year in a row they're going to play at home. I just I don't know. I just think I think whatever voodoo magic that got the Bucs to throw 3 interceptions in the second half and still beat the Packers and have them kick a field goal instead of go for it. I think that's all gone. Like they've had a whole year to stew on that, and I don't think that's ever going to happen again. And Fleurs lost 9 games in 3 years.
Yeah.
It's
I laughed. I forget who put up that. Maybe it was Greg Allman. Around Thanksgiving was putting up taking suggestions on what was the play of the year for the Bucs.
Right.
And I said the Packers deciding to kick the field goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers trying to throw into double coverage instead of running it into the end zone.
So
yeah. That's
the play of the year for me. That was the play of the year last year.
That's what I got. Bucs win. Bucs win the play. Have you seen the shorts?
I've not seen the shorts.
It says Bucs own the South.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it either because it's really not true.
No, you
especially
can't beat the
since you can't beat the Saints and they've won it past 3 years in a row.
Yeah, no.
But technically it's true. I just think it's a little. It doesn't.
Much.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't really ring true.
Problem is that things can go south.
Bucs run the South. I'm sorry, Bucs run the South. It's not a bad looking shirt. I don't like it either. It's crap.
No.
Yeah.
No, not a fan of it. Not a fan of the saying, but whatever.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we've got the New York Jets coming up this upcoming Sunday. The first game of 2022 for the Bucs as they take on the New York Football Jets in that, and hopefully with the holidays finishing up here, maybe we can do something in the middle of the week. It's been real tough for us the last couple of weeks because of the holiday.
Yep.
So things going on, Ren's work, and trying to get somebody booked. Unfortunately, our buddy Josh Klein was unable. He was actually not in Charlotte. He was visiting family with his new baby in their first Christmas, so we couldn't get him on this past week. But
Merry Christmas and happy birthday present to your 1-year-old. Hang another L. That's what you get.
Take that, Klein.
Yeah, take that, Klein. Anyway, the best place to find me is on Twitter at the PewterCast. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers football. But if you think your take is too hot and don't want to put it out there in Twitter sphere, feel free to slide in my DMs. We'll talk Buccaneers football there with you too as well. Yes, I will. Probably. Definitely. Maybe. For sure.
If you're nice.
TheEnd.com. Oh, you don't have to be nice, especially in DMs.
No.
I don't care if you're nice or not.
There you go. You can find me. I'm at Steve Carney, SaintP9.com for all things Rays. Also, thank you to our sponsor, BetUS.com. Thank you to the Fansided Network for hosting the podcast. Thank you to Ren for running this thing on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like, give me some comments, because that all helps us with the algorithm on YouTube. And if you're listening to the podcast, hit that subscribe button and leave us ratings and reviews on whatever platform you're using. Spotify now has rating systems as well, so leave us a rating on Spotify if you use Spotify. And until next time, go buck yourself.